If you're still a bit confused about how the full impeachment process works, you're not alone. Our Mike Gillespie is here to break it all down for you. Mike?
The impeachment process as laid out in the Constitution is relatively simple. The House votes to impeach, the Senate conducts a trial. But as with most matters of politics in our current climate, none of it can be considered routine. The impeachment process is spelled out in Article 2, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. It states that the president and other government officials shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. It all begins with the House of Representatives, where articles of impeachment require approval by just a simple majority, 218 of the 435 House members. The current charge against President Trump, incitement of insurrection. Voting yes means that a House member believes there is enough evidence to go to trial. That trial would be held in the Senate with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court presiding, and where a two-thirds majority vote is required to convict and remove a president. That's 67 of 100 senators. Now, the catch here is that if a Senate trial were convened, Donald Trump would likely already be out of office, as the presidential inauguration is 1 week from today. So why move ahead? Well, beyond the stain of impeachment, there is an argument to be made that a conviction could keep Donald Trump from running again. 3 presidents have been impeached: Andrew Johnson in 1868, Bill Clinton in 1998, and Donald Trump in 2019. In all 3 cases, the Senate failed to convict. And another history note, only 8 government officers have been impeached and actually removed from office. All of them were federal judges with lifetime tenure.